Hey, Courtney. Hi.
Yeah. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. I miss seeing you.
Yeah, same here. Same
I
here.
haven't seen you forever.
Yeah. Did we get a term sheet from the PACE lender too for Kukana?
Already done on all that? Already done on the checklist, and yeah, I'm already done on that part.
Okay, so I just need to know the rate and the term so I can update that on my.
Folks. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
I will.
And then do you need me to set up something with Chris Johnson, the energy guy?
They were gonna let me know because I told them we were gonna use Chris for that, and they said for them to make sure that he was approved, which
He's already done PACE jobs in Wisconsin.
Right, and that's what I told them. So
Yeah.
I was just waiting for them. They told me they would let me know that for sure today.
Okay, no, that sounds good.
Perfect.
Hey, Alvin. Hey, Don. So maybe I can ask quick, Alvin, who was all supposed to be on that meeting for Monday with Kukana, the city of Kukana?
Tim Walter,
Okay,
Tim,
okay,
the guy in Tim's office,
okay.
and one of the guys from the city.
Yeah, Joe Stevenson, were the architects supposed to be on too or not?
No, they didn't
No.
mention that.
Okay, so I'll get that set up.
But Joel might need to be, just because we don't know, but I don't think so, Wendy.
Oh, Joe's the city guy.
Oh, yes, he does.
Yep, yep,
Because it was more about the easements
yep.
and the underground contamination.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Hi, Darren.
Hey, Wendy.
How's it going?
Great. This is the first time I'm at my computer desk and not in the car.
Oh, you're out on a job site.
Yes. I said, let me get in the
I
car.
got in a car for you, Darren,
Thanks, man.
just to make you feel at home.
Let me get out the road. You get on the road.
And we're just waiting on Lath, right?
Right.
Yep.
I see Miss Ann and her husband have joined us.
Hi, guys.
And we've got one more that's going to join us here in a minute.
Okay. Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
So nice to see you guys. Miss Ann, it's been a couple of years, hasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
almost 5 years.
Yes, ma'am. Well,
Are we
I kind of
gonna-
want
Wait on Lath, or are we gonna go ahead and get started?
to go ahead and get started.
All right.
Guys, Miss Ann, would you pronounce your husband's name for me?
No, sir. Nosa. No, sir.
Okay, no, sir. What I wanted to do is I wanted to introduce to you guys the team that we have put together for the full design, build, development, finance, PACE processes, and all the, this is who we are. There's one other guy that'll join here in just a few minutes.
Okay.
So I'll let Wendy, if you would you introduce yourself and just talk a little bit about?
Okay. Nice to meet both of you. My name is Wendy Anderson, and I work on the team with coordinating, kind of finding that extra money that's available out there. If you're doing a project in an area that maybe there's some city funding or other state funding, things like that. I help with putting the presentations together and just working on that end. And it's a pleasure to meet you.
Same here.
Nice meeting you.
Mhm.
Courtney?
So my focus is the financing piece. The beginning financing for the development, the land acquisition, development, construction, and also your long-term financing afterwards. As we're gearing towards the end of that construction, timing that up where that long-term debt's in place, which would be the lower rates and 20 to 30-year terms, depending on what your goal is and the use for the building. And also, just like Wendy, her focus is, you know, finding extra money for the projects, grants, and all types of benefits for it. There's also other programs that can hold second liens on the property above your senior debt for your construction, and below that, which would be lower rates, but also providing more equity, meaning less money out of your pocket to come to the closing table. So that's my focus, is anything on the finance piece.
And so to tie those two pieces together, you know, Wendy mentioned city or state funding, and most of the time that goes over our head because there's typically none. Because there's none the way traditional builders build. That's the difference. So Dawn, if you would, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then you can kind of go into the SIP process of why those two top pieces work really well with what we're doing, if you don't mind.
Okay, so yeah, I'm Don Yankee. It's very nice to meet you both. I work on a lot of the nuts and bolts of how the building goes together. And so the structural insulated panels are what we use to create the box, so to speak, or the envelope. And the idea is it's very, very efficient. So it lowers our cost of heating and cooling, which then in turn helps qualify for PACE and Energy Star and some of the different programs that Wendy and Courtney both work with. And then we find different types of mechanical systems, different ways of heating water, and how the building structurally goes together. And basically what we do is we're trying to build a building that's very cost effective to operate, but generally designed where it's something where you're holding it to get money from. You know, where it seems like in the multifamily world, some people just build it, fill it, and flip it. And so if it's something where you're holding it to grow wealth off of, or to gain that income, that's where we really fit well in that world. And then, like I say, we find the products that have the longest lifespan, the most efficiency back. And then we fit those in with the different finance programs that Courtney and Wendy put together. So that's really what my part of this is.
And then I'll tell you, traditionally, well, not traditionally, just probably about 2 weeks ago, we did an exercise of modeling and pricing out our 200 unit deal that we're doing in Princeton, Texas versus the exact same building, stick built, and we were 78 cents per square foot more. 78 cents, okay? The savings that we're gonna realize is, I can just tell you, we will be able to monetize $100 per month per unit in electric costs over and above what it costs us to provide it. That's per unit per month. So you're looking at a couple of about $20,000 a month in just utility costs that we're going to recoup just because we're building, and that's forever. And so I just text Lake to see if he can join, because I want us to show you some things. And Darren, if you would, talk about yourself and your expertise with us.
How you doing? My name is Darren Stover. I'm a general contractor. I'm licensed in 16 states. And basically I work with the team to build your vision. And throughout the process, I work with Wendy, Courtney, Alvin, Don, and Leith to execute the plans that were put together and that were approved. And to make sure that, we execute your land the best way possible.
Good. Thanks.
Wow.
So this is the team. I just forwarded later. He's got a lot of the pictures that I wanted to share, but let me just find, I'll talk a little bit about, no, so I know that you have already, all the civil is pretty much drawn for your site, right? Okay, so none of that is ever really affected by the building integrity at all, changing over the steps. But what we would love to do is take a look at your plan that you have on and let Lath maximize a couple of those units for efficiency. I'll tell you, one of the things that we have done over the last year is we have built what we believe to be the best, most efficient unit, being a 1-bedroom unit, a 2-bedroom unit, and a 3-bedroom unit. All of the, and I'll tell you why I say most efficient and better. Each unit has the same bathroom. So why do we need to go and have different size bathrooms, different size tubs, different size showers? If you've got 1 bathroom, if you have 2 bathrooms, or if you have 3 bathrooms, every bathroom is designed the same. So when we start buying tile and flooring and bathroom pods, which I'll let Dawn talk a little bit about that, the costs go down, the efficiency goes up, and the speed of use goes way up.
What about in terms of mixing your units? Do you have the same, like 1 bedroom on 1 floor? Do you mix a couple of units across each floor?
Leif, do you mind showing what our what the ANA plan looks like?
Yeah, on the retail or on the
No,
on the Hager Ranch?
no, the other one.
The A and B,
Oh,
just like 1 floor of the A or B.
yeah. Let me, oops. Yeah, let me give me 1 second here and I'll pull that up.
Where is this one located at, Alvin? Or where's this project at?
Greenville.
Greenville, Texas.
Okay, because I haven't seen any details on it yet. So, okay.
We haven't either, Courtney, not yet.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
I want to make sure I didn't miss a party of all the details.
Oh. And yes, we typically do mix the units per floor. So
Okay.
each floor has some 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. We go, and this is again where we gather information. So Wendy's part of it is researching what's the demand for which units, so we know what the mix is, because some areas want more 1-bedrooms, some want more 2. So once we define the need, then we do that blend of those through the building.
Okay, thanks.
There's also a building design that Dawn has put together where we have a 30-acre site in Anna that'll be coming out of a planning and zoning next week. And it's going to be 700 units. And all of the buildings only have 1- and 2-bedroom units, and we designed the perimeter as a buffer with 3-bedroom townhomes. So when you have units where you've got a lot of kids running through 3-bedroom units, they're not running up and down the hallways and playing on elevators. They're actually 3-bedroom townhomes that buffer between the neighborhood adjoining the property.
Correct, yeah.
And then everything also goes off of what Courtney finds out as to how much per month rent is, so like we do some where it's a 3-story walk up. And then in other areas, we can go to a 4-story, then we turn into an elevator building with closed corridors. So everything it starts with the data of what's needed in the area where the land is. And then we just design the building exactly around those needs.
And so typically also when you have a design like you have right now, we bought our first site in Anna. It had some plans that were designed in 2015 with big tubs, and they were 2-story. And we could only do 125 units on this 10-acre tract. I think it was they're about 12.5 units per acre. Well, we designed a 4-story building on the same footprint, went up to 250 units and resubmitted that to the city. And the city really, they adopted it. They love the 4-story concept with the closed corridors, really nice modern design. And as soon as latest technical difficulties.
Yeah, I'll download some of this stuff, and then I can show it on my monitor, on my screen here.
I think he's our strongest, one of the strongest when it comes to making the vision or the dream that you have come to life, because he can draw it and fix it right before your eyes. And then once that's done, the concept is.
Yeah, so my background, my name is Laith. I worked closely with Don for a number of years, and now with Alvin. And my background is multifamily architecture and design in Northern California. So affordable housing, workforce housing, market rate housing. Then I moved back to South Dakota, where I'm from, and went to work in development, specifically in development, for about 3 years, and did only multifamily development. And I don't know, we built probably in that 3 years, I think we built 600 or 700 units, maybe 800 units in townhomes, both in like townhomes and then in multifamily apartments.
Okay.
And yeah, that's multifamily is something that's near and dear to my heart, because it's a need. You know, everybody deserves to have a place to live, and everybody is in a different
In the matrix.
I know, right?
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Okay, I see what I did. I was logged into the wrong account. I was struggling to find my stuff. We're getting there. Bear with me.
And Alvin had mentioned it a little bit earlier when he talked about a bathroom pod. So what we're trying to do is
No, we're not trying.
what we're doing is the labor component is harder and harder to get a hold of. And it's the one thing, when you pay that on a site, when the site is built, it's gone. And the highest cost per square foot and labor intensity ends up in the bathroom. So we have a company that builds the bathroom in what we call a pod, or it's a completely finished bathroom. And so when we build the floor, then we drop the bathrooms in, and then they just build around it. So that room is drywalled, it's painted, the fixtures are on the wall, everything is 100% done. And that can take months out of the construction timeline schedule. And so that's where we start making fewer and fewer different bathrooms, so that we can get that consistency and repetition to it. And then we do the same thing with a mechanical system. We designed our own mechanical system, and we pre-build a lot of it. So when it comes on site, we really cut that site time down for the building rough in to keep the process going, because that's our last frontier is shortening the time frame of the build. So that's how we take the products that we have and just streamline that timeline to make that faster.
Oh, that sounds great.
Internet giving you a problem?
Yeah, I can't get I'm on my iPad. I'm going to try logging into my computer, but I can't get my iPad to share the screen. I don't understand what's going on here. Bear with me.
Oh, we're good.
Don't worry,
Can you email it to Alvin otherwise?
Yeah, that might work. Or maybe just, I know what else I could do. I could probably just screenshot it and then just share the photo. That might work.
are you doing the same concept for the Princeton project?
Would you repeat that?
Your project in Princeton, are you using the same this concept for that multifamily project in Princeton, Texas?
Yes.
Yes. And to date, it is the largest structurally insulated panel community in America.
Wow.
To date. Until we build the one in Atlanta.
I was gonna say, till we beat our own record.
Or go back and put the other 200 units in Princeton and it becomes 400 units.
Mhm.
Or the 700 units on the 30 acres in Atlanta. Or y'all's 250 units in.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
That's,
Okay.
but how does that play out on the rental, on the rents? Does it make the rents to be more?
What we have done is we have used market rents.
Okay,
And with just market rate rents, again, the advantage is the additional income from the utilities.
okay,
So with these structurally insulated panels, we have on hand an energy rating from the engineers that shows that these units will not consume more than $544 per year in water, electric, heating, everything per
Wow.
year. Divide that by 12, so we're at about $40 a month. So we're gonna charge $120 for electric, $20 for water. So right there, those two numbers net us $100 a month.
okay,
Also, we're buying the internet on the curb for $31 from AT&T for 300 meg internet fiber. And so we resell that at $75, which is retail. So we add another $40 there. And so those numbers go straight to the bottom line that cancel out all of our payroll, the corresponding expenses for the utilities and the cable. And when you can pay, payroll is the highest thing that we pay other than property taxes.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
we can cancel out all the payroll to run a 250 unit community, your NOI goes through the roof.
Mhm.
Then we won't have any make readies. We won't have any move outs. So your expense ratio, instead of being closer to 42%, is going to be closer to about 33 or 34%.
wow. Very good. That's too good. Wow.
And you know, the engineer report is the thing that made that work, because that way we know we've got what we can model for utilities. Everybody here pays $100 a month minimum for lights in the summertime. These panels have been proven for the last 30 years. One of the plants where Don has been one of their top producers before he decided to start consulting on his own is in Minnesota, where it's below zero. How long, Don? 4 months out of the year?
More than that.
Yeah.
Their 60,000 square foot plant costs them $8,700 a year to heat and cool to 65 degrees. So that's less than your big 5,000 square foot house per month. Really.
Yeah,
That's
it
good.
makes it makes an amazing difference on the feel inside. And that's where I think, you know, what we haven't seen long term is if people live in a unit and it's healthy and it's comfortable and it's affordable, it's going to change the turnover rate more, because you can't go get another unit like it. So that's where we think we're going to even gain beyond this.
Absolutely, yeah.
So can you see my screen finally after all of this?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
That's beautiful.
so what Alvin did, this is the site in Anna. So what Alvin was describing was we have residential. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but or if I can mark this up, but on the left side here is where we have these townhomes. So you see they're built in units of 5, and they're even showing the garage doors on here. And those where we have the townhomes. So that buffers the existing single family houses to our new development. And then around, here's my pen.
I'll say this is the 30-acre site in Anna for 700
Yeah.
units. The lady just brought us a survey. And the city told us that they wanted that connecting road going through there. And in a couple of hours, we had this whole thing designed.
Yep, so this road here goes all the way from the existing residential, and then eventually it continues on out our development to a major intersection.
Okay.
Highway 5.
Highway 5, yep. Then we have, so I'll delineate this a little bit if I can. So this is our townhome development here, and this is our buffer area. And then we have a few different multifamily pods. So everything that you see in, let me get a different color. Everything in yellow here, these are all of our parking garages. In the middle. And then what we did is we wrapped these buildings.
Oh, the parking.
Yeah, so we wrapped these buildings and they have apartments around the parking garages, and then they have some wings coming off in different areas as well. So it allows for, you know, high density multifamily, but it's still a nice product, and people enjoy it. We can offer more amenities this way. So for instance, at the top of the parking garages, we can actually use that and decorate that with landscaping. And the city will allow that if it's accessible to the tenants. A lot of cities will count that toward your green space that you need on your site. So instead of reducing the building size because you need to maintain grassy areas and trees, you can keep your building size where you need it to be to make the project work. And then you can use the rooftops for your green space. And what we can even do, not on this one, we're not doing it, but on some of them, we're looking at putting in swimming pools. We've seen, Don can comment a little bit more, but in regards to energy efficiency, we've seen then on those parking garages where they do have swimming pools and green space, trees and grass and cooking areas. We've also seen solar panels that are translucent, so some sun shines through into the pool, but when you're in the pool, you're not blinded by the sun and baking in the sun. So there's just different things, and then you're increasing your energy efficiency, putting that energy back into the building, reducing your cost. And so that's one of the things that we do or can do. And then let me get to another photo here. This is another, I'll show another perspective of our Anna site. And so this is more of a 3D of what we were just looking at.
Model, yeah.
So now you see the townhomes down in the yellow. Those are
Blake, do you happen to have the building on the other Anna site?
and see if I have that. Yeah. So this is some more of that high density, but then Alvin can speak for a few more minutes. I'll keep looking for those A's and B's and that kind of typical garden style. Well, and we did have it on this one as well. Let me bring this picture back up real quick. But you can see more down in this orange and blue area. You see more of those garden style multifamily apartments. What, your typical apartment building with 24 to 32 units in it, or up to 60, or however many the density makes sense for. So we try and incorporate whatever we can into the development to make it more wide ranging and feasible for everyone.
Okay.
I'm looking at the Northgate plan right now. But Don, this was before we made the modifications to the restrooms, isn't it?
Yeah,
At 95% set.
yeah, that's not quite there yet, but we could, do you have the A or B, the Anna stuff, Alvin?
Let me look.
Yeah, that's what I'm just looking for right now too. I think I've got some here.
No, I don't have
Yep,
any. Okay.
I've got some here. I can give me a minute. I'll turn this into photos and get this up on the
So how-
screen here.
So while Blake is doing that, so typically the way this could work, we typically do a couple of ways we could work with you guys to put it together. But what we would do is we could build a pro forma to come up with a value of what we think your buildings would be worth, just based off of the pro forma and the area and comps and et cetera.
Okay.
And then we could back our way into a number that all the way down to the development of what it would cost to do that. So you got a 17-acre site. I think our underground utilities right now for Princeton are priced, including the parking lots, we're somewhere about 400,000, $4 million. But that is not that's only parking for 200 units, not 400 units. But this whole site is on 16 acres, but we've got all the sanitary sewer, 2 detention ponds going in, and all of the electrical for 200 units for right at $4 million, okay? So you already have 17 acres of land. It's already entitled for 250 units. We would probably say that that dirt is worth about $25,000 or $30,000 per key. So if we're looking at 250 times, let's just use 25,000.
Yeah.
2 million in value for the dirt. So that's 6.2 million in value for the dirt, plus the money that you've already spent on design and civil and stuff. Just say we could probably get that somewhere to about 7 million, maybe 8 million.
Correct.
At that point, Courtney would arrange a loan. Courtney, talk about the LTV of what that would look like, assuming we've got a $7-8 million value.
So right now we're getting up to 85% of loan to cost, on up to 70% of loan to value. So when your appraisal comes in, well, one question I was going to ask, your land, what is your position on your land right now? You've already purchased the land, obviously. You've already done some civil. Okay. So the great thing about the loan coming in, when you already own your land, regardless of when you purchased it, whatever that value of the land is today, we can use that value of the land versus what you originally purchased it for towards the equity of your construction loan. So you're more than likely going to come into the deal with obviously already equity, but some of that we can use towards the down payment of the construction loan, which would take away that big chunk of change for 250 units. So that's the plus about already having your land, having title to your land and having some of your work complete. So we can create that value today versus what you paid and use that equity. And then from there, we take our budgets that our team provides and we get an overall budget. We get an appraisal of what that completed value would be. And that's what we run we do a comparison of your loan to value versus your loan to cost to see which one gives you the best overall terms as far as rate, as far as money down and those type of details. So, and then once we get that senior debt information in place, that's when Wendy and I group back together, because at that point she's researched what's available for the county, what's available for the city for grants or any other different, things that come up that they're willing to offer. And at that point, we get back together, put those details together. We also see if there's any other state programs like PACE and those type of details, which will also, like we said earlier, inject in to help with offset some of that equity that you may have to come up with upfront.
So basically what she said was, if we got a $7 million value, if she can do 75% LTV, that's about 4.5 million. If you got 4.5 million in development costs to do all your horizontal improvements, you got enough money to get that done without spending any cash. And then once you got all your horizontal, the value goes up even more. We refinance that loan into a vertical loan, using that equity. And at that point, we'll be able to determine based on what the full appraised value is as to if we will need any additional money in the form of private equity or mezz financing or something. We'll know that or really close to knowing that before we start, but at what point will we need it, if we need it, to finish it out.
Mhm. I have some ABs if you want to, if this is a good time, Alvin.
Yeah.
Zoom in a little bit. So this is more of a typical multifamily building. Yeah, so these are 8 units per floor. These are 4-story buildings, so there's 32 units per building. And we have, I'll just mark this up so you can kind of see. We've got, B unit here, another unit here, and then A unit over here, B's again on the right side, and then we have our C unit here. So the difference is we have 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms in the B's, 2 bedrooms in the A's, just a different floor plan, and then we even have a D unit, which I can show you in a minute, which is a 3-bedroom unit. So, but the nice thing about like a building like this, what we decided to do on this plan was we have front doors. Changes here. We have front doors coming off the parking lot, but then we also have a rear door that goes out to more of a grassy area. We have a waterway in the back that we need to maintain because it's part of the Waterways Act, and so we need to maintain that. So what we did is took advantage of that and provided a rear door out to the nice, grassed area where tenants can go and have a little bit of a backyard. So, and then in this building, we do have an elevator in this area here since it is 4 stories, and then we have 2 stairwells. And so just a nice, I can show you some unit, we'll go to some unit plans.
And one of the differences on these, like typically you would see a water heater in each individual unit, but we put commercial style water heaters and then pipe it around. So we're making more use of the space. It's more renter tenant usable space in the apartments instead of giving that up for mechanicals in each unit.
We're also thinking about long-term ownership. So when you start having to replace 200 hot water heaters in 7 or 8 years, that's a big difference.
These plans don't reflect the pod changes that we've instituted, those bathroom pods, but what we are looking at with this type of plan, the nice thing about the pods is, so this whole unit here, these 2 bathrooms would show up, and actually what it would even encompass, Don, because we talked about, we incorporated this area as well. So then what we have is this closet right here, we rotated that door and put it behind, we put it in this wall. And so now you have, from your main bathroom that's accessible to everybody in the unit, you have this door where the red line is, and that's your washer and dryer built into your bathroom pod. So when those pods show up, they'll be completely finished: tubs, toilets, vanities, tile, ceilings, washer and dryer will be installed. Everything is ready to just hook up to the plumbing and continue the build process.
Yeah.
Since this plan, we've also done a couple of other things, and we've gone to a zoom in. Oh, there we go. We've gone to, in the kitchen, what we now have is dishwasher.
Oh, like, we can't hear.
Plumbing. Oh, really?
Yep,
We
there
can
now
hear
you're
you.
back.
There you back.
Sorry, we had a plane flying overhead, and I'm guessing my
Okay.
microphone noise canceled me.
Yeah.
So we have the kitchen island now that we've incorporated as well, which has a sink and
Okay.
dishwasher. And so when that kitchen island comes in, all the plumbing is in the floor, not in the walls. And so it adds a little seating area in addition to the kitchen, and then it frees up more counter space in your just in your kitchen area, because now you don't have a sink. You lose out on that, eating up square footage or counter space, and so it kind of simplifies your kitchen design as well. So that's some of the standard unit plans.
And then we have
then-
gone to induction cooktop stoves now too. So when you're cooking, if a little child reaches up and touches the top of the stove, it's not hot. So
Okay.
we're trying to put the safety side into it. And then there's also sensors in the floor in the bathroom, underneath the kitchen sink, underneath the vanity sink. So if any water touches those, it instantly calls the building manager so he can go there and find out what happened.
What's the problem? The leak and stuff.
And then something that you'll see, like in a drawing like this, which we call a building section, you can see what we'll do is we actually stack everything up. So we have our party walls coming all the way down. We have our plumbing, our bathroom vanities coming straight down. So all that plumbing stacks on top of itself. All the toilets are in line. All the vanities on either side of this wall are in line. And so then what you end up with is just a simpler process to put all those support items in, all those necessary systems.
And this
And so, yeah, this is wood construction. Yep. And so you'll see even, all of our kitchen stacks, all those kitchen islands. Again, we go back into vanities, they all stack. And so we really focus on those efficiencies, because if you have guys who are working on this project and they repeat everything over and over and over again, that just makes it simpler and keeps your costs down and makes it a faster build process.
Exactly. Wow. It's very good.
So we take all those things into account when we lay buildings out, when we design things, to make sure that not only does everything look nice, but it's picking up efficiencies in the building process, the design process, the labor process, and even maintenance and those things down the road. So.
Mhm. Wow.
I got one more point I'm gonna show you really quickly.
Okay.
Find it. Yeah, okay. This is our building for Princeton.
Wow.
Nietzsche house siding, aluminum decks on the exterior for patios. They're all the same size. I think we have 2 sizes, so it makes it just really easy for fabrication. It's 3-tone Nietzsche high. Those are 36 by 18-inch blocks, so it's gonna look really, really good, not like a typical apartment building. And we are so proud of this. It's taken us a long time. I'll tell you, this site in Princeton, we put it under contract. April of last year. And from April of last year until probably now, we have changed plans to maximize this building, to maximize the SIPs and all the mechanicals so that we could get to a place where Lath could show you what we just showed you.
Wow. Wow.
Good. Good.
It's worth it. Very good.
So we love the opportunity to work with you guys. We could take your plans, Nosa, that you've done, and let Lath look at them, make some suggestions, or if you like what you see, that 3-story building that we've got, that with the buildings that are bathrooms and everything so efficient, we can take it, plug it into your site plan, and make it real easy and real simple, and save a lot of redesign costs on what you've already done.
All right.
Wow. I think,
Right.
yeah, I think that would be fine. What we like, what we see. I think this is good. We just need to know what the fees, working with us will look like, so that we can, because we're ready to roll, and we're glad.
And I can't hardly hear you. I think your mic's going in and out.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's take that.
Okay. I said we like what we see. Can you
Yep,
hear
now
me?
we can hear you.
Yes, ma'am, we
Yep.
can hear you.
Yep.
Yes, we like what we see, what you shared with us, and we like to know the fees working with us, so that we can, because we like to grow. We've had this land for a couple of years, and we've had this project on our mind for a while. So we want to move forward now. So we like to know the fees and how we can, work, how you can work with us so that we can move forward. It's we've been working with the city of Greenville for a while. We've just finished we're finishing some townhomes, buildings. We've sold some are under contract in the same city of Greenville, just around the corner to where this project, actually it's called Pine Gate Development.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're ready to get moving.
Yes. And
Yeah.
when I met Alvin almost 4 years ago, he was about this site. So we're ready to roll with this apartment project. Then we like to see what's how to move forward. We've done most of stuff, but we'll be happy to, we don't want to, with what you guys have shared, it might be a great idea to see how we can, without reinventing the wheel, how we can move forward with what we have, or if what we have is workable. But we like what you shared. And the other thing is that the city of Greenville does not want, they want market rate apartments. I don't know whether Alvin knows about that. They do not want tax credit. They wouldn't give a construction permit for the construction of anything tax credit. So we want to see how that could play out with the financing option that you guys work with, and to make it possible, because they don't want anything tax credit. They said they don't want it, and they made it clear to us very well, and they won't give construction permit with anything defined. So, but how we can work around that and still make it market rate apartment and something good with the program you have.
I'll tell you what we could do. What's today? Today is Thursday.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
By next Tuesday, let us huddle up. We have a meeting tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Let us huddle up tomorrow. And what we typically done, we've just put together one development agreement and it just goes in stages.
Okay.
Okay.
And so it's really simple. We're open, transparent with all the numbers, even from our suppliers, because we just put a fee on it, on the total project. And so we're not marking up this, marking up that. We don't have a problem with that. And what we will include on the first piece of this is what it'll take to look at your plan, so you can send those to me. I can forward them to Dawn and Lath.
Okay.
If you would allow us to be honest about the design of the plans, because I know pride of authorship is tough.
Yeah.
We won't pick the plan apart, but we can just show you
Yeah.
some additional efficiencies.
Sure.
Yep,
Exactly.
exactly.
And then I'll include what it'll take to get Wendy started on her piece. I'll include what it'll take to get Courtney started on her piece in the first part of the development agreement. And then what'll happen is we'll get through the design part, and then Darren will be able to take that design that we all pick out and decide on down pretty close to, I like to say down to the doorknobs, but it's really down to the availability of product. And then we'll be able to detail that out as much as possible. And then Darren and Don will put together some numbers for that. And so we'll just stage that whole thing out and spell it out pretty clearly for you that way. Real simple.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. And when you mentioned when Wendy mentioned about what she does that include help or assistance or
And your mic is doing it again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
on Wendy looking for doing a city funding opportunity. Does that include the tax credits?
I missed most of what you said. I'm sorry.
Does
Got
that
it.
include tax credits?
It's a different kind of tax credit. So it's not a tax credit that is tied to low-income housing.
No.
It's a federal or state tax credit for efficiency.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Energy
That you don't
efficiency.
get from stick building. It's like, hey, you built a high efficiency building right now. I think it's up to about $3,500 per unit or $3,400 and something per unit as certificate of occupancy. So Wendy lives on the state, the federal, and any of those kind of credits that we can get. Some of it may come from a manufacturer. It just depends. And so those are the credits that the city will be glad that you got, because it puts them on the map for building a green, sustainable building.
That's good. Section 8, okay, funding from the government.
Okay.
That's fine. I think
Well, I appreciate y'all's time today. If you have any more questions, then send me an email or call me like you did yesterday. Just call me anytime.
Sure. Yeah, we really appreciate your time, and we're looking forward to working together with you guys. I think quite a
Likewise.
great team here. But by the way, I'm a civil structural engineer, so later I want to see what you're showing.
Well, it's nice to meet you. I've only spoken to you once before.
Correct. Yes.
So with your expertise in doing the civil, if we need to make any changes, we don't have to pay any. We don't have to pay anybody for that. And we've got so many other projects coming up that you could be a really big benefit for us as well. Because the hardest part is tying in with a civil that can do this.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Okay. Thanks for your time.
Look forward to talking more.
so much.
Take
Yeah.
care. Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Don?